Hey troops, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan, I'm a former commando, and today we are welcoming Davey, a very good friend of mine from Hartnack Security Services. And guys, we've got a lot to talk about today. Davey's a little bit nervous, first time he's done something like this, but you know, as you can see, he's twice the size of me, big softy he is. But we're going to talk about a few things, and as you can see on the screen now, the National Three Peaks Challenge, something that me and Davey are going to be doing next month.
Yes, next month, mate. 25th of November.
25th-ish of November. So it's a challenge that we're going to be doing. We're going to be making it, you know, quite a difficult thing to do. We're going to be putting time restraints on and stuff like that. But we've got a lot we want to talk about today, and I thought, why not? Let's just get a podcast out of it. See if you guys enjoy it. There's a lot of stuff that I think we can get covered in today about, you know, you guys know that I'm a former commando. I was in the Royal Marines for a number of years, but there was people behind that. All right, that just didn't happen overnight. And Davey is actually one of those people who was instrumental in helping me in that period of time over 10 years ago. So
long time ago.
A long time ago. And as you can see, he's a big guy. He's the one who literally introduced me to weight training, but proper weight training with a purpose to get you, you know, fit and ready and strong, ready to be able to do an arduous military course. And I generally believe without that training that I had from Davey, one of the strongest guys I know, quite literally, I wouldn't have made it through commando training, okay? Because I wasn't naturally blessed with strength. I was a boxer by trade, so to speak. So, you know, we've got a lot to get into, and I want to bring it back, basically, guys. Before we get into the challenge itself and what we're going to be doing next month, it is going to be really good. I'm going to document the whole thing on our phones and stuff. You guys can follow along with the content. So I'm excited about that just for content alone. But I want to bring it back a little bit to how me and Davey met each other, because we've actually got a lot of we would need more than one podcast to talk about. Actually, we've got a lot. So Davey, I first met you 2008, 2009 on the doors in Sunderland.
Yeah, I would say about then.
Was it Liquid Nightclub, I believe?
Liquid Nightclub. You were just a young, fresh pup, I believe.
Young, fresh pup. I think I was 18, 19-year-old or whatever. Davey, a few years older than me. But, I mean, I'll put this into context, guys. How tall are you, Davey?
I'd like to say 5'10".
5'10",
I'd like to say 5'10".
About
No, it's 5 yet then.
I was going to say with 5'10" with heels on. Davey's about 5'8", 5'9", a little bit smaller than me, but when I first met you, how much were you weighing? And you were in really, really good shape.
Yeah, back then, that's when I actually trained hard. I would like to say generous 18.
I would say waking up fresh on a morning at least 18.5 stone. Davey was a monster, a big strong guy. So I was fresh on the doors doing security work, and I was quite intimidated by all the big lads there, because I wasn't a big lad really.
No, you were a snapper.
I certainly wasn't a big lad then, just a young lad. And Davey was, me and you took to each other quite well. He took me under his wing, because the doors back then it was quite a dangerous place where we were working.
Yeah, I think back then Dorman were, for the UK side, Dorman were Dorman then.
You had to fight, didn't you?
Yeah, back then you did. It was depending on which bars and clubs you worked on, you worked for your money back in them days.
I agree. So it was quite a daunting place for me to work. Davey took me under his wing and looked after me, and eventually, you know, started training together.
Yeah. Bodybuilding
specific stuff, because you know you need to have really good upper body strength to join the Royal Marines. There's no question about it. You do. You need to be fit. But if you don't have upper body strength, you'll not be able to do the rope climbs. You'll not be able to pick the Bergens off the floors and, you know, run 20 miles with them and stuff. Upper body strength is really integral. And at the time, I was lacking upper body strength. So Davey took me under his wing, started training with him. And yeah, I realised then what, you know, weightlifting was all about. Very different to what I'd been brought up with, that's for sure, the way you did it.
Yeah, but it wasn't, I wouldn't have said a bodybuilding's regimental physical asset. What we done, we got at you basically for your upper body strength, like say for the rope holds, it wasn't just one part, it was the whole part. And I would say as well, your legs as well. Your legs were like chicken legs.
Still something that I have to work on, yeah. But it's like people don't realise that you can I mean, I effectively went through like a bodybuilding program with you.
Yeah.
And loads of people will say that that's the wrong way to do it. If you want to get strength, they don't normally do strength training. We used to do high repetitions with you, and it's like it completely defied all of the advice, but it worked exceptionally well for me.
Yeah. Again, I think when you've got like the rope pulls and things like that, and you're pulling yourself up, you've got to remember when you're doing it, you've got that extra weight. If you are carrying your Bergen or you're not, you're still soaking wet through. You've got that weight on you. There's all different types. So it wasn't a set of going in and doing biceps and things like that. It was a massive core of different things.
Yeah, it was just hitting everything.
Yeah, and you needed it. You know
I think so.
Because you were your cardio was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So that didn't need touching. It was literally
the strength element.
Get used of you ready for the big carrying the weight, especially the 30-miler and things like that.
That's it. People don't realise. So it's like, I would say what bodybuilding and weightlifting did for me was that it's that one more rep attitude, isn't it? But it sticks in everything you do. Like, when you're hanging out in the gym, people might say, well, big biceps don't, they might look good, but are they functional? Well, it's not necessarily the size of the bicep that'll get you through a task. It's the one more rep attitude.
No, you've said it right. It wasn't about getting bulky.
It was the attitude.
Looking like a bodybuilder. It was getting that core strength in you.
Yeah.
So you can do, as you know in the Marines, no matter what, as you go, you've got to do another mile. You've got to do another rep, and you've got, so you've got to be prepared for that. You can't just be a fit athlete.
It's very true. But that's like a short background into how I met Davey. And, fast forward 10 years, lots happened. Obviously, we lost a bit of contact as I went into the military, as you do. Came back out and, got reaffirmed with you and stuff, our friendship and things like that. And unfortunately, a big part of this challenge, with most things in life, when you look at most good things, normally come from it. Well, in this case, it's the roots and the reasons behind it are actually quite sad, And if you don't mind us delving in, I hope you don't mind me delving into it today. A big part of this challenge was actually set out, one, because Davey wants to help other people. He's always wanted to help other people. I can ask you for anything and you'd be there. That's what type of man Davey is, okay? But, it was only a few months ago you lost your partner.
Yeah, I did. I lost my wife to breast cancer. It was a massive battle on behalf of her. Which she won in every step of the way. She was diagnosed a year and a half beforehand.
It's been a long time.
It was a long battle, but every time I would see it over the courses of the chemo and things like that, she did beat it.
Yeah.
A true warrior. But then it would come back in a different stage, in a different part of the body. But every time she fought it, and not just that by herself. She was looking after 3 children, all under the age of 7.
Yeah.
So it was quite a phenomenal thing to see.
I mean, I didn't realise just how bad it was until obviously got back in touch with you and things.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's like there's been a lot of things going on, and now that Davey's mentioned it, I can speak from my heart with the whole situation. Davey asked me if I would like to take part in a 3 Peaks challenge. Obviously, I think it's not just the fact that we're friends, but Davey's a big lad. This is where we can both help each other. I've helped him. He's helped me in the past with the bodybuilding type stuff, the strength and things. 3 Peaks challenge. That's my forte. I would like to say that's where my bread and butter was won in the Marines. So if I can help you in that. In that department, digging deep with climbing up mountains and stuff like that, then that's the least I can do, because the reason Davey's doing this is to provide. It's for a charity. I'd like if you want to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Community Soup Kitchen. I didn't really know much about it. I literally one day, I received a few phone calls from. Different people explaining that the warehouse that they have, where they provide meals and store food, and it's their operational base HQ. So it wasn't attempted, it was in a break-in. Sadly, at 2 to 3, burglars got in, got some stuff and things like that, which is a bit shocking, bearing in mind that I would imagine, which we did find out, these people get help from this community. This how would you see it?
And they've broken into the place that they'll be getting
so
help from.
they've broke into the place. So I received a few phone calls asking if I could help out in any sort of way. So I did contact them later in time, and actually people had contacted them saying, if you give Dave a ring, he'll try and help you. He does help in the local community with other people. And others.
Especially when it comes to security, that's been your life really, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's my bread and butter. It has been for a long time, and sadly, in this day and age at the minute, crime is on a massive high. It's not just drug date. Like I'll say, people who take drugs to try and get money. Generally, people are just have no money. And
hard times, isn't it?
Hard times, and they're having to go out to steal. Which it's at this day and age, people shouldn't have to be doing that.
Yeah.
So by chance, we got in touch with them. They were happy for us to go down and have a sit down with them and see what I could do for them. So first thing we're doing, we got some signs up in the building, outside the building, just to let people know it was secure. And then a few phone calls were made to the local
hard guys.
The local people put the word out to say, this is not a place to be touched. It's a charity organisation. They're there to help people.
Yeah.
These people who have broke in, they've helped them in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So from then that it was secure, it was dealt with, and every often I phoned up, make sure everything was all right. And by chance I popped in to see a woman called Andrea. Now, Andrea runs this, and she has done for a couple of years. And this woman is phenomenal. She works 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. She's never had a day off, and I think in the 2 years.
Wow.
She's all about this charity work. And as I say, this charity, it feeds people a meal every day. Everyone is welcome. There's nobody turned away. But on that, it's also a food bank. So they help provide local families with food. You can, if you have nothing on the shelves or in the cupboards, anything like that, you can ring your local councillor or the council, tell them your situation. They'll pass you on the details. You can go there and they will provide you with all different types of food to last you basically a full week.
That's nice.
Which it's amazing. It's great. But this one day when I was there, Andrea was a little bit stressed, and you could tell that. So I was asking her what the problem was. And the food banks themselves, and when you go in this warehouse, when I was in last, it was full with food. It was there to help people. And this time, there wasn't much on the shelves. And this time, there's more families than ever going there for food.
So they run low on stock and stuff
very,
like that.
Very low. And it's not just people on benefits. It's people who are working.
To be honest with you, I know quite a few people. No, obviously not going to mention names. Who both people in the house are working and they're still struggling because of the food bills and stuff. People are living literally on the bread line.
Yes, 100%.
And they're like, well, we can't eat this week, and they're having to go do 50, 60 hour working weeks still. It's like, well, you need to eat. So I do feel sorry for families that are having to go through that, and it's admirable that you wanted. I mean, it was your idea to come up with this Three Peaks challenge. It's not going to be easy. Like I've been out the military, regular service anyway for about 5 years. It's not something that you stay good at if you don't do this type of stuff regular. And I think we're both gonna hit a few struggle points, So it's for those that are thinking, well, ex-military or Three Peaks, it might be quite easy. Well, Ben Nevis is the highest mountain in Britain. Is that right?
It's basically the three peaks, the highest peaks in Scotland, England, and Wales.
Right, there you go, troops. So yeah, we might not be living in the French Alps, but they're the highest. They're the highest mountains in England, Scotland, and Wales,
yeah,
right?
Especially doing it in the end of November, next December. You can expect snow up in Scotland.
Well, we used to do mountain training in Scotland, mountain training in Snowdonia, Wales. Granted, we were carrying an awful lot of military kit and weight, but it's bloody hard work, even if you haven't got a Bergen on or a backpack. It's hard work anyway if the weather's bad. Yeah. So we've got a provision for all of that. So Davey's picked probably is the worst time to do this challenge. Both. I mean, all jokes aside, both physically for us both, because we're not really in that training as we used to be, but mentally as well. You've been through a hard few bloody months, haven't you? So
yeah, I think it's a test for not just the fitness, but for the mental aspect. Well, I think that's the whole point of it. I mean, if we can just go back on that day I was there, they were worried and panicking about the food shortage because it was coming up in December, and I didn't understand the difference between the months. What was the difference?
Aye.
So Andrea sat us down with a nice cup of tea as always, and basically she told us the year before that they worked from November up to the lead up to Christmas Day every day. All the staff and the staff that don't get paid, they're all volunteers. They come out their own time to help, and they had to build up from November up until Christmas Eve. A selection of food, and also on Christmas Day they made meals for families for Christmas Day, so they didn't go without. And I was quite shocked by it. They provided 180 meals for families, and it was a bit disheartening to hear that there was people going on Christmas Day without a meal.
It shouldn't be the case,
and also they had to provide they got help from a company with presents for the children, which no child, I don't care what stage should wake up on Christmas Day with a present.
Yeah, certainly not in this country. Yeah,
and it's like what we've talked about this year. It's like the first year without my wife. So for me, this Christmas is going to be one of the hardest but best ones yet, because we're going to have a brilliant time and obviously celebrate my wife, but also that the children are waking up with presents. They're going to have a meal. They're going to have everything there.
Basic things that you'd expect on Christmas Day, isn't it?
Yes, it's
things that we take for granted, though, eh?
Well, I think you do take it for granted, because if I hadn't been involved with this organisation, I would never imagine that any family was going without a meal on Christmas Day, and that a child was waking up on Christmas Day without a present. It's disheartening, and it hit me hard. And it was after that conversation we had, I think for about a week or 2 weeks, it was playing in my mind. And I couldn't get the thought of imagining my children coming downstairs on Christmas Day without a present.
Yeah.
And then at dinner time saying, I'm sorry, we've only got maybe a few bits and bobs to make a meal out of. So it was...
as well as on top of that, the first Christmas without the mum as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and as well, there'll be other families out there as well that haven't got loved ones this year.
Loads of families, yeah.
Yeah, so it's double hard, and I can't imagine being in that situation, and again, not being able to provide for your family.
Yeah.
For the mum or the dad, or both parents that are there. It must be disheartening,
I agree. That's why I think it's so admirable. I'm not just saying it because, you'll know on my channel, I've got 800 and odd videos or something. It's the first type of video of its kind, really, this.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I always send you pictures of me and the girls watching your podcast. Do you know what I mean? I love watching Uncle Ryan.
It's like, for me, it was the least I can do is accept getting involved. But if I can use this audience here, so if you're watching this, guys, we might as well just point them in the right direction now. We'll do it at the end as well. If you want to in a nutshell, donate to this. Is it a GoFundMe?
Yes, it is, mate. Yeah.
If you want to do that, I'll put all the links in the description. I think it's £2,000 that you've pledged to raise.
We're trying to go for 2,000. Basically, what we looked at doing was trying to £1,000 was to go towards the food for them to have a meal, and the other 1,000 was to provide presents for children. And I think, you know, we're doing well so far. We're getting there, but I really want to like smash it. I really want to, you know, not just provide certain families. I want to try and get every person that comes in or that needs a meal and a present, we can do it.
Substantial.
You know, I don't want to have not one person going without, you know.
No, it's an admirable thing. I'm happy to be part of that. If this channel can help out in any way, guys, please go and click the links. It's like nothing. Everyone knows GoFundMe. It's nothing's going into our pockets. It's through legitimate.
Yeah, I mean, well,
charity,
obviously,
you know?
we'll get the money through the bank. But what we do is then we will obviously take the money out, because I haven't got a checkbook. I don't think that existent anymore. But what we'll do is obviously we'll add my security page, and we'll also input my personal one on for the sponsors, which we'll get into in a minute. And that'll show everybody where the money's gone, what we've done with it, things like that. And also we'll be seeing Andrea.
Well, if you want, I was gonna suggest, this is a bit off the cuff, this, when we go to present, I don't know if there's a presentation of whatever once, because I know we're going to smash through those numbers. If you can help out, guys, we'd appreciate it beyond belief. We are going to be doing a bit of suffering ourselves on the 3 peaks for it to happen, but I think it would be good to probably maybe make some content out of that as well, to see our response.
I think that'd be brilliant, because I think when people think, the 3 peaks, I think they just, you know, you're walking up there down, and that's hard in itself. I mean, me and my daughter just this year we done Helvellyn.
Yeah.
She's only 7. And at some points I had to carry her up.
Aye. Might have to carry me up one of these as well.
But these peaks that we're doing are the highest in England, Scotland and Wales.
We do it in immediately after each other as well, guys.
The plan is to do these 3 in 24 hours. So it's not, we're not going up one each day. We've got to get these done in 24 hours.
Yeah, it'll be difficult, that will, but you know, hey, we'll give it our best shot at the end of the day. That's all we're going to do. And if we can raise money for a good cause in the process, we'll keep you up to date with content. If you want to see more content like this and updates, get Davey on the show again, guys. It all depends on what you guys want. So that's that. All links will be in the description. If you want business sponsorship as well, it doesn't matter where in the world, because guess what? This content is aired globally anyway. So if you want a business sponsorship, links in the description. Make sure if you do donate, drop your details so you can get in touch with Davey via Facebook, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we'll add Facebook on there. Just for the sponsors. Obviously, some sponsors have given us more than what we've asked for. What we were asking for was just £50.
Put your logo on a t-shirt.
And what we were asking for, what we want to get out of that was the logos will be on our jumpers, front and back. We're also getting a banner. I'm not sure exactly of the size, because it's dependent on how many sponsors we get.
Yeah.
But if we have to get 2 flags, we'll get 2 flags.
Put to the
Every
top
sponsor will be on the t-shirts, on the banners, and if possible, we'll look at t-shirts, but it's just, we're going to be up there in winter time, so
jumpers will need to be good.
But like I say, it'll be also put on my security page. It's also on my personal page. I think Ryan will look at doing the same, just to get everybody's logos out there, just to show, you know, how kind-hearted you have been for donating for this. And also just the sponsors, just people donating, you know, even just £5, you know.
Every little helps.
That £5, get a toy, you know, things like that. So even if it's just a small amount.
For the kids and families who can't have this
really
Christmas,
appreciated,
Yeah.
You know, it really is.
So let's get amongst it, guys. I will be pushing content out like this. I'll be doing a few shorts, other content, maybe, but we're definitely doing content up that mountain. We'll take the camera and.
I think we have to. I think we need to prove to people that it wasn't an easy task, you know. Or it's like I say, you know, if we cry or we've got to pick each other up and things like that, it has to be done because this is what a great charity organisation that generally helps anybody out.
Yeah. And to finish on that note, guys, links will be in the description. But if you keep in mind, there's something I want to. Davey won't highlight this, but I'll finish on this note. Davey's, I mean, what a guy, man! You're wanting to give your time and effort into raising money for a beautiful cause to support beautiful families all over Sunderland who maybe won't eat this Christmas, might not have a present or something like that. You're doing that whilst currently, look, smiles are smiles. Davey's suffering. He's been suffering for a few months. Obviously, bereavement is a terrible thing. You've lost a loved one in your life.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie meant something to me as well. Obviously, I knew Anne-Marie before I knew you.
I mean, obviously, your godfather to our oldest daughter.
So it means a lot, and I just want to say, for someone who wants to do something to help others out, despite how he's feeling himself, that deserves admiration. And I
appreciate that, mate. I really do.
Honestly.
You know, I think this day and age, I think people have to come together more. People need to help each other out because we're in a state, not just in our country, in America and everywhere else. Everybody's suffering at this time, and especially I think at Christmas time. It's that
you need one day, don't you?
It's just that one day where it can bring everybody together and you can feel fantastic. And it's not just that. I think as well, the next year you're feeling positive. And if you can feel positive the next year, you can feel positive the day after.
Yeah.
You know, and then it can change in people and they can maybe try and turn the life around and make that situation better.
I think I'll give you the final say on that, mate.
Yeah, just thank you for having us on, mate. Thanks to everybody who's took that time out to listen to what we're doing and what we've got planned. If anybody wants to donate, please, fantastic. If anybody wants to sponsor us, get in touch. Ryan's going to put the links up.
In the description, guys. That'll be the only link as well. None of my links. If you're going to donate anything, donate to that charity. That link there will provide the details, and we'll see you at the top of these 3 peaks in about a month's time.
Yeah, we'll get it smashed. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Cheers.